What's up, everybody? How you doing today? It's time to talk comics again with me, Riot Agenda. So I want to do some recaps of the comic books I featured in the last episode. First up is Jay and Silent Bob, Jay's of Future Past. This comic was pretty much what I thought it was going to be, a mostly comedic romp by Kevin Smith, full of puns. So if you like puns, this is definitely the comic book for you. I thought this was definitely my favorite panel of the comic book, two-page spread featuring all the View Universe characters getting ready to unveil the statue for Dante, who died at the end of Clerks 3. Fun fact, he was actually supposed to die at the end of Clerks 1, but Kevin Smith wussed out, changed the ending, and then just decided to have his death for the third movie. Really just Jay and Silent Bob going through, meeting a bunch of the various Marvel characters, Fantastic Four. Of course, Brody talks about the thing. If you know, you know. And I don't want to do a ton of spoilers for this in case somebody does want to buy it, but I will go into some because this is kind of the best part about the comic book is the big twist. So Doctor Doom is after Jay and Silent Bob. They're a threat to the entire world. So he put a $1 billion bounty on their head. So we've got all kinds of Marvel villains coming out of the woodworks to try to collect on this bounty. Doctor Strange looks through. This is also a fun comic book. All different iconic Marvel scenes with the Jay and Silent Bob characters in place of it. So, we got Silent Bob as Wolverine. We got, where's the Kevin Smith knocking out Nazis as Captain America. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's fun bits, nothing super dynamic in here. Why Doctor Doom is worried about, here's sort of spoilers, so click forward when I put down the comic book. I'll no longer be talking about this one, so spoilers will be done. Silent Bob has recently cultivated a horticulture sample that is of such good quality that they aerosol it and release it in the air to make everyone in the world peaceful and docile, ruining all war. This particular strain of his horticulture plant is called Banana Hammock, which was quite amusing. So yes, when we find out that Silent Bob's Banana Hammock buds essentially destroy the world, Doctor Doom hatches a plan to get them killed. The end of the issue is a little disappointing. It was basically Spider-Man No Way Home. Doctor Strange cast a spell, so everybody forgot that Jay and Silent Bob did anything. The other cool part about this comic book was we have a little essay by Kevin Smith, and in this essay it talks about, or it shows the various different times that Jay and Silent Bob have cameoed in Marvel Comics. So I thought that was pretty cool. First impressions about reading this issue, I gave it a 6, and then upon further reflection, I upgraded to a 6.5. Can't quite give it a 7. Didn't feel right giving it a 6. 6.5, my final call on that particular issue. The other one I wanted to talk about then, again, was Avengers Armageddon number 1. Now that I have read it, this actually was kind of disappointing. The prequel to Avengers Armageddon was in their Marvel's recent comics giveaway day. It's a free comic book you get on the first weekend of May. I recommend doing that if you are able. It is nice to get some free comic books. You don't get ones like these. They're actually ones that are there for free. They say comic book giveaway day on it. So yeah, the prequel in that was kind of showing that Red Hulk is up to some no goodness. We get a little bit more details in here. Dr. Doom is no longer in charge of Latveria due to his previous Marvel event from last summer. So Latveria is kind of up for grabs. Red Hulk decided, I'm going to bring some democracy there, and I'm going to rename it New America. We get Captain America is in a coma all of us out of nowhere, and apparently that happened in Captain America 6 through 11, so it was a little disappointing that the first issue doesn't even cover all the details. There's also a character, and this is the comic book panel of the comic book. I think Red Eyes Hulk being all scary, doing a halo drop down, it was pretty darn cool. It's kind of creepy. So yeah, Doom's going out, Red Hulk's going out, taking over all the Doom's control and instilling democracy under the New America flag. We also meet a brand new character His name was Colton. He looks an awful lot like Captain America, but he has the power set of Superman. And they do not explain any of that because apparently he was first discovered in a Wolverine comic book. So the art is decent on this. I didn't like that this is basically just like 5 other comic books. The what was done in those kind of recapped in here, which I guess is nice. You don't have to read those other comic books, but I felt this was very lacking. There wasn't a whole lot to it. So I really gave this one a 5. Honestly, the best part of the comic book is at the end. The governments don't want the Avengers and superheroes interfering with this, and of course the superheroes do not care what the UN or the governments think. So once they get everybody together, Iron Man snaps his helmet shut and says, I only need 2 words. Everybody knows what those 2 words are. So I would give this issue a 5. Decent art, basically boring, pointless setup. The next issue looks like it's going to be a lot of fun with the Avengers versus Hulk and his gamma-powered flunkies. It's probably going to be cool. This one, not so much. I'm definitely going to check out issue number 2, though. Couple other things I wanted to bring up. I thought this might be kind of fun. So everybody knows sound effects in comic books. I think they're always a heck of a lot of fun. I sometimes will, after reading an issue, will go back and just read the sound effects. So I'm going to do a dramatic reading today of Power Man and Iron Fist 125, The Death of Iron Fist. Don't have any. Kaboom! 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 Puff! Boom! Crash, crash, crash! Wham! Zap! I'm not going to do this. We're not going to peek the mics. No! Boom! A lot of talking. Beep. Someone died and then came back to life in 3 panels. So 2 and bleep. Good ones though. Quality. There we go. Puff, puff, puff. Boom, boom, boom. The room. Not making that up. The room. Shash. Crash. Crunch. Whump. Boom. Pow! Crunch! Honk! Bleep! 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 Creak! Crunch! Crash! Boom! That was a very dramatic boom. That was the death of Iron Fist boom. Boom, and I believe a final boom! Oh, I'm sorry, one more boom! And pat, 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 pat. The end. Moving. I know, very moving stuff. I was going to take a second to collect myself. So, hopefully people enjoyed that. I could definitely do some more. I enjoy reading comic book sound effects. That is my dramatic reading of Power Man and Iron Fist 125, sound effects only. Next I want to bring up, I like to talk about my Aunt May moments. So here is my crazy Aunt May moments from Spider-Man 1. What issue was this one again? This is Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 176. So, first panel, we got over here, we got Aunt May is protesting in front of City Hall. Police officer is trying to take her protest sign away. So what does Aunt May do? She starts beating him over the head with it. Aunt May beating a police officer over the head with her protest sign. And she does it so vigorously that she has a heart attack. So, Aunt May's kind of a badass. I'm allowed to protest here and you try to stop me? Whap! Right over your head. I love it. Aunt May, do not mess with Aunt May. That is proof positive right there. And then lastly, I want to recommend a different comic book. As you may have noticed, I'm not wearing a Marvel t-shirt. I'm actually wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt. That's probably where I actually got my start in comic books. The original Turtles in a Half Shell on my 1984 is when the comic book started. 1989 is when the TV started. And of course, 80s my jam, so of course I know all about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I have to recommend The Last Ronin. This is like a post-apocalyptic, after the Turtles. This is actually the death of a lot of turtles. There's only one turtle left. This is definitely your more mature, R-rated turtle stuff. And it's fantastic. I can't recommend this enough. Kevin Eastman, Peter Liard, the original writers, and this in. Tom Waltz is kind of the newest TMNT guru. In 2012, Peter Liard sold the rights to Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon started up a new comic book series with IDW, written by Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz. So these are the three main architects of the Turtles' history in there, telling the last turtle story, the death of most of the turtles, one turtle left. I'm not going to say who it is. I definitely recommend getting this comic book. It was awesome. Hopefully everybody liked it. Episode number 2. Like and subscribe. Drop me any comments below if you liked any segments. You want any new segments. You like my old segments. Just let me know. Until next time, I'm done with this conversation.